after spending the day here with you, I think that all of you are going to have a little pause from analytics and data during my talk, because I'm going to focus on technology transfer. Okay, so as Chris says, I work with Yissum. Yissum is the technology transfer company of the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. And our mission, as we see it, is to promote the transfer of all Hebrew University technologies. And that's for the benefit of society, of course, while maximizing returns in order to support our research, education, and scientific excellence. And for all of you who are wondering what Yissum means, Yissum is the Hebrew word for application. So we see our researchers in the center of our work. The university researchers can take two ways when they are working with industry. One approach will be using their laboratory capabilities. By that, I mean that the researchers develop unique process, unique systems, thinking differently, and of course, having a lot of knowledge in a specific field. And they can contribute to companies that work in the same field. So for that, we create a collaboration between companies and specific labs in our university. In general, using this model, there is no new intellectual property that is being developed. Only our researchers help the companies to develop their own product. The other path that our researchers can take is by discovering something unique, something new, invention. They will come to us, and we will protect this invention via patent. The minute we'll have the patent application, we will start marketing efforts in order to find partner from the industry that will take this invention, will put money into it in order to do all the development that is needed and to bring it as product to the market. We do that by giving specific companies license over technologies. These licenses are exclusive, and they are with royalties in the future. From time to time, we'll decide to create a spin-off company around a specific technology if we think that it will be benefit for that technology. So in general, there are three wheels in this process. The first one is the researcher who is performing scientific work. During this work, he can discover something. There is the company. That company wants to put money and invest in the university. When we try to work together and to create collaboration between the researchers and the industry, we'll ask the companies to come and to define what the scope of the work is going to be and what is the budget that they are planning to put into the projects. And as you see, we are the wheel that basically put together all this system. We will negotiate and we will execute the license for this technology. So this is what we call the circle of money. Money comes into our labs. It can be from competitive funds, it can be governmental funds, and this money serves for research, general research in the lab. During the research, there is an invention. The researchers come to us, disclose this idea, and we will protect it and immediately try to find partner in order to commercialize it. With time, this technology will develop and will get to the market and will start to sell, and the company will see money out of it. From that point, we will start to get royalties for this technology. And with that royalties, basically, we'll split the money. 40% of the revenues that we received will go back to the researcher, to the inventor, to his own private bank account. 20% of the money goes back to the researcher's lab in order to promote any other projects or other fields of research that he is doing. And the rest of 40% basically stays with the university and, of course, at the end goes back to research. So this is how this wheel goes round and around. So we assume we live in a challenged world. The idea is that we need to bridge between two completely contradicting worlds, the industry and the academia. The academia is driven by publications, while the industry wish to have as much confidentiality as possible. Our researchers, they're driven by their curiosity and by getting more and more knowledge, while the industry is more business-oriented, product-based, and there is certainly milestones and no working as you wish with the time. So on a day-to-day basis, we bridge this gap between the industry and the academia. And we do that by being very flexible with our business. So who is the Hebrew University? The Hebrew University is the biggest university in Israel. We hold more than a third of all PhD students in Israel. 43% of all biotechnology research is done in the Hebrew University. We have 6 different campuses that spread all over Israel, and each one is dealing with different topic. In the Hebrew University, there are 1,000 researchers, and among them, around 400 are busily doing some kind of applied research, and at the end of the research, they will get to us. The Hebrew University is rated according to the Shanghai academic ranking among the top 100, and specifically we are 57 worldwide. We are ranked higher in computer sciences and natural sciences. We take pride of our Nobel Prize winners, which is a very nice list. And also in 2010, researchers from the Hebrew University received the highest prizes for criminology and the highest prize for mathematics, since in these two fields there is no Nobel Prize. Also EURC. EURC is European Research Council that is a very extremely competitive grants that all European labs can apply. And the Hebrew University ranked number 3 in receiving these grants during the years. So the technologies that reach Yissum basically are in all areas of research that is done in the Hebrew University: brain research, veterinary, clean tech, nanoscience, education, engineering, pharmacology, and of course, agriculture. So Yissum. Yissum was founded in 1964. We were the 3rd technology transfer company that was established in the world. Today we are around 28 people that work in different departments of the company. The company is a private company fully owned by the Hebrew University. We have in-house patent department, in-house legal department, and myself, I belong to the business development department. And as said before, I'm in charge of the agriculture and veterinary topics. Over the 48 years of existence, Yissum filed for more than 7,000 patents, and I'm talking in all fields of work, which covers more than 2,000 inventions. 4 of them have been licensed, and we have also 72 spin-off companies that were established around a specific technology. And what's important is that products that are based on Hebrew University technologies and were commercialized by Yissum generate more than $2 billion annually, every annual sales. So, if we look at the chart that divided into the different fields of work in the university, we can see that among the life sciences, we have around 56% of our technologies are in the life sciences and biotechnology, and only 13% are in the agriculture and clean tech fields. But I have to tell you that if I would show you this pie for something like 4 years ago, it was completely different, because the life science took 70% of the chart. And the reason that now it's only 56, it's not because we have less in the life sciences, but because we see a really rising work on the agriculture and material in the university. So they are taking bigger chunk from that pie. In every given moment, we have around 400 available technologies in all the fields of research that's done in the Hebrew University. Okay, and now I want to tell you a story. And from this story, maybe you will understand better, first, the importance of transferring the knowledge from academia into the industry, and also the way we do our business. So it all started in 1948, when the State of Israel was established. Basically, the Israeli starts to work the land and become farmers. They're not that great with doing that job. And there was actually no place to buy seeds in Israel. So our farmers started to import different type of seeds from Europe in order to work the land. But the problem was that these seeds didn't fit the Israeli climate. They fit the European climate. Israel is much more warm. So what happened was that these seeds didn't sprout well. And the ones that did sprout didn't give the expected yield or the expected quality. So for many years, the Israeli farming was struggling. At a certain point, the Israeli government understood that it needs to step in, and decided to invest fund in agriculture research. The idea was to jump the Israeli farming industry to a point that it will actually be able to support the growing Israeli population with crops, vegetables, and fruits. The whole idea behind this investment was to have better local, and I'm emphasizing the thing, to have local agriculture, better local agriculture. Among the funding groups, the Hebrew University also received funds for more research. The idea was, again, to have seeds that will fit the Israeli climate and will be trustworthy and in terms of sprouting and crop yield. As I said, one of the research institutes that is funded is the Hebrew University, and specifically the group of Professor Nahum Kedar from the Faculty of Agricultural Sciences. This investment turned out to be a big success. Today, this group, headed by Professor Chaim Rabinovich, is well known in the breeding and seed world. They have real appreciation and respect among different world seed companies. They decided to take a revolutionary approach by taking the ripening inhibiting genes from industrial tomatoes and insert them into fresh tomatoes by breeding. What they created were long shelf-life tomatoes. This was groundbreaking discovery. Until then, tomatoes were able to stay fresh in the market for 3 to 4 days from picking. And from that point, well, it was completely new fruit, since it was able to stay in the market for 2 to 3 weeks. So as I said, this completely changed the tomato world's industry. And I have to tell you that for this discovery, Professor Kedar received in 2006 an award that is handed by the State of Israel and is regarded as the highest state's honor, the Israel Prize. So here it is. New innovative tomatoes were produced with long shelf life. This variety got the name Daniela. Daniela actually is the daughter of Dr. Kupelievich, who was at that time PhD student developing the new variety. Daniela gave long shelf life together with great taste and color. One more special thing was that Daniela was able to grow in different climates around the world, not only in the Israeli one. And the amazing part was that at the beginning, no one believed it could be true. Our researchers started to go from farm to farm all over the world in order to convince farmers to use these seeds and to see the results for themselves. And that's when Yissum stepped in and worked very hard, and signed a license agreement with one of the Israeli seed companies, Hazera. It took a while until they started to see success. There was a point that Hazera was in a bad financial situation, and they wanted someone to invest in the company, but couldn't find anyone that will actually believe in that company. But in 1982, Daniela became a world commercial success. Until then, one of Hazera's major missions was to supply seeds only for local use. But from that moment, they became a big seed exporter. At that point, the global seed industry dramatically changed by this discovery. It was a new standard in the world of fresh tomatoes. The breeding group from the Hebrew University became very popular among the different seed companies. And probably, as you can imagine, all Israeli seed companies wanted to be part in this celebration. So Yissum, together with Professor Kedar and Professor Rabinovich, decided to give license to each company on a new variety as they generate them. They decided to work with all different 3 Israeli companies. The seed companies, from their point of view, understood the huge potential in investing in this group, in this research group, and they all started to fund different breeding programs. All the research is done until today in the Faculty of Agriculture in the Hebrew University. So as I said, Yissum was the one that signed on the license agreement with multiple companies. And one of Yissum's and the researchers' condition is that these agreements will include a section ensures that the breeding and the production of the seeds will continue to be done in Israel. As we see it, it is very important to support our local industry, and this is one of our strategic goals. So during the years, the group developed new varieties. Until today, this group presented up to 1,700 different hybrid combinations, and from them, the different companies took about 150 and commercialized them. So they are all in the market. Among them, we have tomatoes with resistance to different diseases, which is very important if we want healthier vegetables, because then they need to use less pesticides. Another one was, and this is quite interesting, they developed tomatoes that can grow on one branch as a cluster. What's nice is that even though they grow on one cluster, they ripe all together on the same time. The idea behind this is, of course, that it is easier to pick. And also, from the marketing point of view, when shopper in the market sees the green branch, he feels that it's much fresher. And the cherry tomatoes. Actually, this is a very interesting story too, because our breeding group changed also the world of cherry tomatoes by turning it into a real industry. Until then, cherry were used in a very small scale. People could find them mostly in salad bar and not regularly in the market. So in 1982, an England company, Marks and Spencer, visited Israel and were impressed by our breeding group. So they decided to fund them in order to create a new cherry tomatoes. The idea that they had was to have tomatoes that they can use for decoration. Of course, our group generated a new variety that had great taste and together with long shelf life. And I have to tell you that for 12 years, Hazera company were the only company in the world that sold seeds for cherry with a combination of good taste and long shelf life. Only after 12 years, competitors were able to develop competing tomatoes. This amazing story is built on 4 principles. When you have an innovative approach and technology, it will bring you to a groundbreaking products that will bring potential investors, which of course leads to company growth, and that again allows for more innovative ideas. At this point, I want to present you what happened with the 3 Israeli seed companies. Hazera company was bought by the world giant seed company, Vilmorin. This happened a lot because of the Hebrew University breeding group, and basically about 40% of Hazera revenues relied on the Hebrew University varieties. Similar story happened with Zraim Gedera, another Israeli seed company that was sold to Syngenta. And again, a lot of knowledge, in this case in pepper breeding, came from the Hebrew University. And in 2010, Syngenta's revenues from the Hebrew University varieties topped $40 million. The last Israeli seed company, AB Seeds, was sold to De Ruyter and then by Monsanto. The Israeli AB Seed company became Monsanto's vegetable seed division. And again, since Yissum and the researchers insist that the work will continue to be done in Israel, these companies continue to grow and work, and this is after that they have been bought by these giants. I like this story since it brings together great forces from the academia, industry, and the government. Our research group received governmental funds and showed an academic innovation. From that point, Yissum signed on license agreement with conditions to promote local industry, which in turn gave the expected results of growth of our local industry. In the next few minutes, I want to tell you about two spin-offs that came from the Hebrew University lately, and hopefully will be our next success in the agriculture world. The first one is Morflora. The knowledge, of course, is based on the Hebrew University's IP. It is presenting a revolutionary technology, inserting every desired trait into any seed of interest in no time. The technology is capable of expressing or silencing target genes, and this is in non-transgenic manner. This technology can improve vegetable taste, shape, color, and size, as well as making them disease-resistant. Just to let you know, Morflora creates a strong interest from many players in the industry. In the last bullet I'm presenting here, this is basically a breaking news. Last week, Morflora was announced to be one of the finalists for the prestigious 2012 Red Herring Top 100 Europe Award. And I think that today or tomorrow they are presenting their company, and of course I wish them luck. I also want to share with you a new spin-off we have, Clasid. This is another revolutionary technology that I'm sure will change the world, this time of garlic. Until today, farmers that think of next year crop, of next year yield, needs to save on the side garlic in order to use them for next year crops. Clasid, based on the Hebrew University technology, basically able to develop a method to have seeds for garlic. This is something that doesn't exist today. So I'm sure we will hear more about this company in the future. So in my last few minutes, I want to present you with a new approach Yissum is taking to promote the academic industry innovation. Today, we are facing a challenge. Academic achievement is reached when scientific proof of concept is established. In many cases, this is not enough for R&D companies. Because of that, many technologies fail to reach market stage. We identify this challenge, and we are in a process of establishing an AgBio fund that will invest in Hebrew University technologies. The idea is that these technologies will reach advanced stages and will be licensed under better terms. So the AgBio Fund will focus on promising projects from agriculture field. It will have an advisory board. All allocation of the equity will be according to the investment. And I have to tell you, this is a unique way to invest in unexplored early stage technologies. The advantages are clear. The investors will be the first to be exposed to all new and outstanding technologies. The risk is low, since the investment will be done in a multitude seed technologies. Also, high involvement of the investors will ensure the best commercialization. Okay, so before I finish, I want to show you, to explain you another ways how Yissum tries to encourage our researchers to do applicative work. First, we split the revenues with our researchers. They are inventors of our technologies. As I said, 40% of our revenues go to the researcher private bank account. 20% goes to the researcher's lab, and the rest 40% stay with the university. We also were able to come with the university management to understand how important it is to do applicative work. So today, when our professors apply for promotion, they also take into consideration if they have patent applications or if they were able to commercialize a technology that they developed. Also in Israel, we have different governmental funding opportunities in order to create discussion between industry and the academia. And of course, Yissum, we also have different funding opportunities. The first one, we call it Baby Seed Fund. And this is when technology already did its first steps, and we want to give it a little bit push in order for it to come to a point that we can actually commercialize it. We'll give money to our researchers. And of course, as I presented a minute ago, our new AgBio Fund. So today, I presented Yissum, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem Technology Transfer Company. I tried to expose you to Yissum's work through the story of the Israeli seed companies. I gave you just a couple of examples of what's in our queue, and hopefully will develop to something successful. And finally, I presented our new concept, which is the AgriTech Fund, of how to help our researchers reach a better point with their technologies development in the agriculture field. By the way, we already have this model running for the pharma field. And with that, I want to thank you all for listening and wish you a great meeting.